emotional freedom technique, which I think many of you have probably heard of. And also, I wanted to kind of clarify some things about it so that you had some deeper information about what it is and how it can help you and why I use it with my clients all the time. So, if you don't know, you can be checking out Dawson Church has an EFTuniverse.com. It's the website for that. And he's got a ton of research information on there. There's been lots of clinical trials, I think up to 20, that have been that they've done clinical research for on things like pain and skin rashes and depression and anxiety and PTSD. So, kind of the whole broad spectrum of things. And I use it a lot with my weight release clients and in my weight release class. And it's so efficient and it's so effective that I thought that I might do a quick blog this week on it so that you understand. So, a couple things. There's different EFT out there, and if you Google EFT really quickly, you can find quite a bit. But today I'm going to be talking about clinical EFT, which is the Dawson Church line of things, is going from a clinical perspective. This is the procedure that's been studied in the clinical trials. Doesn't mean the others don't work. It'll all work, but this is the one that I know and that I can share with you. I highly encourage you to go to his website and learn more. At the end of this, I will say it again. Okay. So, what you want to look at when you're looking at EFT is the idea like, what are you doing? Right. So, from the five bodies of consciousness perspective, so you've got if we look at the five bodies, you guys have all seen me do this. You've got the bliss body, which is the all one energy. You can think of that. It's like every potential, every possibility, the frequency and vibration of that lives in this kind of global one energy. And then you can think of that as like the ocean, and then every possibility or frequency that could possibly exist lives within that, and like is the individual different drops of water. And then as humans we kind of become a shape out of that water. We're never really separate from that big picture. We're just kind of an expression of some of those frequencies, and so we express on the other level. So the supramental level is the level of our creativity and our intuition. It's the level of our archetypes. So when you're doing archetypal work or Enneagram work or anything like that, you're working at the supramental level. And the way that that works is it kind of guides our beliefs, our karmic records, our DNA, whatever you want to believe happens there, your genetics. And then it guides our mental patterning. So the next level is the mental level. And this is how we collapse thought. And this is how we begin to think. And then the thinking, as you know, guides our brain chemistry, it guides our body chemistry, and that moves emotion. It emotes and it moves that emotion in our vital body, which is made up of meridians from the Chinese traditional medicine and the chakras from Ayurvedic. So you've got all these energetic structures and it moves energy in those. And then you have the physical body. So I want you to think of your physical body as we're talking today as an expression of like the deepest or the densest energy of those bigger energies. It's not separate from what you think. Your body, your mind and body aren't separate. They are literally the same energy. One is just a denser vibration of the other. It's like a collapsed potential on all the levels. And that's exactly what happens when we collapse a potential out of that realm of possibility. We collapse it on all of those levels in some kind of way so that we can understand it. So when we have an emotional stress of some sort, any stress, if we have pain in our knee, to allergies, to bee stings, to PTSD, right? So that's what we're talking about. Those are all stress. And EFT is an amazing protocol for managing stress. And I like to talk about it here because teaching you to do it is you're empowered, right? Like we want you to be empowered to move that energy and to heal yourself. And that's my passion in life is getting you the tools in your hands to do that. So EFT is a great one, and I combine it a lot with my clients, with coaching and things like that. Okay, so let's talk about what EFT is. If you've heard about it, it's emotional freedom technique, and we're going to talk today about the basic recipe. So the first thing you want to do is you want to kind of like you want to be specific. So most people, when they say I've tried tapping and it didn't work for me, it's often because they're actually trying to tap on something that's kind of too big. So you need to get specific. What's a thing that you can work on? A specific memory, a specific pain. And remember, when you do that, that memory or that pain, it's bound to a lot of other things. It's got a lot of aspects to it. And when you're dealing with that one thing, the hippocampus has associated it all together. And so you're actually affecting the whole neural binding by just focusing on this one thing. So we don't focus on like self-confidence out here. We focus on this one incident where self-confidence became an issue. And in doing so, we're kind of zeroing in a laser on the thing, the root thing, and it will ripple out and help to heal all those other layers. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is kind of pick a specific thing, and you're going to give it a SUD number, which is the 0 to 10 score. 0 being I don't have any feeling around it at all, and 10 being um, this is super amplified emotion, right? So SUD stands for subjective units of distress or discomfort. It was developed by Dr. Wolpe, and so it's a great way for someone to generally know where they are. So first you kind of find the thing and you say, okay, if I feel into that right now, like, and you want to keep them in the right, if you're working on your stuff, you want to keep in the right now. Like, don't think about it in the past or in the future. Try and feel what it feels like right now. So you think about the thought, that emotion, that memory, whatever it is, and you think about it right now and give it a score. Maybe it's an 8 out of 10, right? Like, so maybe it's knee pain. We'll work on knee pain today. So it's knee pain and it's an 8 out of 10. Okay. So now you have a beginning place that you know that you're going to work from. The next thing you want to do is the setup statement. This is really important because what you're going to be able to do here is kind of combine some different philosophies in psychology, and then you're going to tap around that. And what I want you to see is that you're kind of combining these different mental ways of working with mental patterning from psychology, and you're bringing that to a place where you're then going to move the energy around it, right? So it's based in two sides, from the cognitive therapy and from the exposure therapy. And I won't talk a lot about those here, but what I want you to know is, like, on one end, it's kind of it's the affirmative side of moving things, and on the other end it's kind of facing the thing, right? So it's like, um, so we're going to talk about the knee pain instead of avoiding the knee pain, which sometimes our brains like to do, is avoid things that are uncomfortable. And so we will kind of spiritually bypass it or physically bypass it and kind of pretend like it's not happening. So this is going to combine those things and bring it all front and center. So your setup statement is going to have um, the part where you say, about the knee pain, and then it's going to have this cognitive component where you're going to affirm it and then bring it into the now. You're not trying to change it, you're just looking at it. You're just stating that it is, accepting the present moment, what is. Now, one of the things you're going to do first when you do tapping is you're going to reset polarity. Um, Actually, the idea of psychological reversal comes from energy work, and it's the idea that when chi gets blocked, or you get these blocks, and it can reverse the energy flow, and you get this polarity switch. And any kinesiologist, anybody who's doing any energy work, will usually look at polarity first and make sure that you're, because humans are electrical and we have polarity, so you want to make sure that's all moving in the right direction first. So in tapping, you're going to do that by starting by tapping on a certain point, which will reset the psychological reversal or polarity issue. Then you're going to move into your, then you're going to, I lost my place in my notes. So you're going to move then from there into creating the affirmation. So the affirmation is going to look like something like this. Even though my knee hurts, I completely and totally accept myself, or something like that. Now, remember, you're not trying to change it. You're just deeply and completely accepting yourself in this moment. You're not saying, and I want it to be better. You can use forgiveness affirmations at the end of that. You can say, if it's a situation or a person, you can say, even though um, my mom yelled at me over not making the mashed potatoes correctly, I deeply and completely accept myself. I forgive myself and I forgive her. Right. So you can add forgiveness work into this, but we're not going to go deep into that today. Um, I'm going to reiterate, this is not just positive thinking. I think that positive thinking is often spiritual bypassing. So we are actually looking at ways to move the energy, and we're going to look right at it instead of kind of bypassing it by, oh no, there's nothing wrong, right? Okay. So then I want to talk about for a second about secondary gains. So this comes from psychology, this idea of secondary gains. And you need to look at secondary gains because they can be the thing that keep you from moving forward. So for example, like my knee hurts and there's some pain in that. There's something very physical going on. But maybe I don't, the secondary gain is that I don't want my knee to get better because that would mean I'd have to take care of myself. And I have all of this emotion around taking care of myself. So as long as my knee hurts, then other people need to take care of me. There could be other things. It's a whole host of aspects, right? But I want you to think about these secondary gains are as important and often will show up as you begin to move energy. Things are going to come up, right? Okay, so the karate chop is all four fingers on one hand, tapping the blade of one hand, like if you're going to karate chop something, right? So you're gonna start by using your affirmation here and tapping this, and you're gonna say it 3 times. So you're gonna hold here, and you're just gonna say, um, even though my knee really hurts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my knee hurts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my knee hurts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my knee hurts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my knee hurts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my knee hurts, I deeply and completely accept myself. So you've started off by kind of resetting your polarity, and you've really focused in what you've told the intention of what's going on energetically, what you're going to be working on today. Okay, and then you're going to go through your sequence, which is a series of acupressure points. So now we're combining that mental patterning, that brainstem, limbic system, cortical issue going on with how the thoughts collapse or the belief system from the supramental level. And we're going to move energy around it. We're going to repattern it, which is really great and is a really powerful technique. So let's repattern it. So here is the way that I learned it. There are different ways that you could do this, but you're going to hold a sequence sentence in your mind. So I don't have to think the whole thing over and over, but I can just think, my knee hurts, my knee hurts. The pain in my knee is better. The pain in my knee, the pain in my knee. And I'm going to tap. So I'm going to go right up here to the ends of my eyebrows, which need to be waxed because of COVID, but we'll just keep going. So you're going to tap first there, and you're just going to keep that about 7 times. You're going to tap 2 fingers, that's polarity, right? So tapping, then you're going to move to the outside of your eyes. You're going to tap here. And the whole time you're thinking, my knee pain, my knee pain. 7 times you're going to tap right under your eyeballs. You're going to tap right here on your top lip. You're going to tap right here on your below your bottom lip. I was like, what your chin? That's the word I was looking for. Then you're going to come down here and you're going to find this find the edges of your collarbones, find the big hollow up here, the edge of your collarbone, and then drop down just a little bit. There's a little hollow there. You're going to tap there with 2 fingers. There you go. 7 times. And then I'll pop up. You're going to tap like right on your bra line if you're a lady. If not, it's kind of like your monkey arms. Just bring your own monkey arms in, and you're going to tap right there. Okay, so, and then you can, so after you've done it once, I want you to check in on your suds. So if you were at an 8, are you down to a 2, or are you still at a 5? And you're just going to keep writing that down, right? Because now we're going to start like peeling away the layers if we need to. Now, sometimes let's all hold the space for it only takes once. There's no reason why it doesn't have to, right? Like, so let that energy move and see, like, is the pain gone? Then the pain is gone, right? That's awesome. Sometimes it is hard for us to believe it can only be once through, but if it is, that's awesome. If not, you want to start to look at aspects like, when was the first time your knee ever felt like this? Oh, in high school, I fell over a wall. Here's some full disclosure. My knee doesn't actually hurt right now, but just to be on that page, I cheered in high school. My freshman year of high school, I was a cheerleader. Not something I tell everybody, but I just announced it on YouTube. And I fell over a wall at one point at a football game, which was nice and embarrassing, right? So in my cheerleading uniform. Um, okay, so I land on the field, right? That's pretty embarrassing. So no wonder the first time I felt this pain might have been then, right? So now I need to start working with this other specific event that has come up, right? And working with different aspects. Maybe it's the sound of everyone laughing. Maybe at the same time somebody ran by me with the football and there was all this commotion and it created a fear response. Who knows? But there could be different aspects that you want to look at from there. Um, to make sure you're kind of peeling it away on all of the levels. A lot of people try and tap once on a very general thing, and they're not like peeling away layers and going deeper and deeper and deeper. They're kind of saying, even though I hold weight, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I hold weight, I deeply and completely accept myself. But they're not really talking about why they hold, like the first time they felt ashamed of the weight they had, or the first, like the way that they react to different foods or smells or things like that. You got to let that kind of zero in on what you wanted to work on. Um, and that way you'll dig out the different aspects. Okay, so I think that that's pretty much all you need to know. So I'm just going to run through the points again. Remember, you're going to start by saying the affirmation, your whole sentence, and tapping the edges of your hands 7 times. You want to do that 3 times through. And then you're going to start with the inside, or right here at the edge of the eyebrows, to the outside of the eyes, to under the eyes, above your lips, below your lips, right here in your little divots. Uh, we'll call them kidney 27s if you know what those are in acupressure. Kinesiologists usually know what that is. And then right here along the brow line or in the underarm area. Okay, so there are other protocols. There's other protocols that get deeper. They involve the 9 gamut, which uses the ends of meridian points and things like that. And sometimes you may need that, but a lot of times you can make a lot of changes, letting this kind of letting the one thing that you're remembering bring up all of the other things and clear it all. So letting like um 20% of the problem doing 80% of the work, right? So okay, that is your quick guide to emotional freedom technique. And you can use that for anything, anything that you have going on: sleep, hormones, weight, pain. There's not, we know now that most physical ailments are only a percentage physical, and maybe up to 80 or 90% of it is actually emotional, which is in that emotional realm in the vital body. And it's connected to what's going on in the mind, the beliefs, the perceptions, the attitudes, the mental patterning, the wrong assigned meaning, as we like to say. That's why this is such a powerful technique. Again, Dawson Church is, he teaches this, he certifies people. He has great resources on his website. Go to eftuniverse.com. I think we're even promoting him in our moment of learning this week. Okay, guys, thank you for being with me. I know that was longer than just a few minutes, but I appreciate you, and I hope this helps get to tapping.